My name is Deogratias Wezaura, a Jesuit from Eastern Africa province of the Society of Jesus. Just to begin by giving a little background to my work with JRS. I started 1995 from January to March. I was in these refugee camps in Western Tanzania, accompanying mainly the young people in areas of basically helping them integrate in the new community. So that was the initial introduction to JRS. And then after my studies in philosophy, between philosophy and theology we have a stage which we call regency, basically pastoral work. So I was again assigned back to Western Tanzania. These 2 years were a great experience for me. The first 4 months I worked in a radio station called Radio Kwizera, which was set up by JRS to basically sow seeds of hope, as its motto was. That was a great, again, moment for me and the opportunity to serve and to begin to question myself. Here we are as JRS responding mainly to the plight of the refugees, responding to the consequences. And I began asking myself, what are the root causes of this? What is it that is causing people to flee there and leave their homes and come and live in these refugee camps? So as a result of my reflection on this work, then I came into theology in Kenya, Nairobi now Jesuit School of Theology. And basically my theology was greatly influenced by these experiences of my work within JRS. Now the major areas covered by JRS Eastern Africa. Key for our work is education, psychosocial support, which includes counseling and healing of trauma, alternative healing, reflexology, attending to the care of the vulnerable children through healthcare centers, and as well as so education is at various levels: preschool, primary school, secondary school, and now with the online program moving into tertiary education, which was already being done through distance education through the University of South Africa and also the Kenya Institute of Social Work and Community Development. So these are major areas, but along with those we have urban emergency programs. These urban emergency programs attend to the needs of refugees who are not staying in the camp. This is a major challenge, an area that requires a lot of awareness, because most people tend to think, okay, there are refugee camps, everything is provided in the camps. Why do refugees leave the camps and come into the city? And why should JRS be attending to the needs of refugees in the city who would otherwise be provided for in the refugee camps? My experience over the years and the little experience now in Nairobi has put me in touch with the reality of urban refugees. They are perhaps more vulnerable than refugees in the camps. One, because those who come in the urban areas are asylum seekers. The process to get asylum or to get their documents registered and approved by UNHCR or governments can take between 6 months to 9 months, if not longer. And within that time, where they do not have documentation, they are vulnerable. Very few organizations attend to them at that time of need, to integrate them into a new society, urban life. Most of these refugees, of course, would have also fled from urban areas back home, so all they are used to is an urban setting and type of life. Some of them would be women who are victims of sexual and gender-based violence, and somehow the urban area creates anonymity and security for them. But without any organizations attending to them at that time when they have not yet received their documents, then they can be doubly jeopardized. They fall victims of abuse within the urban settings as well. So JRS then comes in handy to respond to this area which is not usually well attended to by other organizations. At that time of vulnerability 6, because of the limited resources, we can only accompany them for the first 6 months, sometimes 3. And we offer them assistance for women in areas of medical care, shelter by offering rent to them, food to assist them sail through as they seek, and also some income generating programs, of which Mikono offers them an opportunity to sell the art craft is such a great support to them. So this then support of JRS accompanying them and also offering them a pastoral care. We have a pastoral program here in Nairobi that assists them. We also have English courses for those in Kampala, for refugees who come in from the DRC. They would be French speaking, and so when they come into the urban area, such as Kampala, if they don't speak Luganda, which they don't, and English, then they cannot easily integrate. So we offer them this course along with skills training for women in areas such as tailoring, catering, hairdressing, just to give them skills with which they can cope then and be self-sustaining, while we support them with food assistance, medical care, and shelter. The very minimum and basics that we can afford to offer. The challenge remains that because there is less awareness of how many refugees are in the urban programs, there are many questions why they prefer to be in the urban areas than to stay in the camps. And so we get less support in this area financially to be able to assist them, and they offer scholarships also to their children. The children then become much more vulnerable in something. There is nothing that can be sustainable without education. And so when we offer scholarships to education of these refugees who have to cater for themselves, we are preparing a future, something as sustainable as education for empowerment of these children. An education that liberates them, that gives them tools then with which they can be on their own. But there are many people of goodwill out there without whom JRS would be closed, the office would be closed. Many people who give of themselves materially, a number of also volunteers who volunteer their time to come and partner with us in offering direct service to refugees. But also the donors, those who partner with us financially. As I look at the region, the hope that we had last year is not lasting. Following the events, the current events, at the end of last year we had the crisis in Somalia with the famine and the ongoing conflict and armed conflict. So that the number of refugees from Somalia continues today. The cameras may have moved from Somalia, but the reality is that when I visited Dorado this year, there were an average of 100 refugees crossing the border from Somalia into Ethiopia. Kakuma, we had hoped with the independence of South Sudan and the referendum and all that going well, there was optimism that there is peace finally. The reality is different. There is ongoing fighting along the border, aerial bombardments, and so we are witnessing again an influx of refugees into Kakuma. I just came back from the visit last week, and I'm told there is an average of 2,000 refugees coming in per month. The numbers have shot up from 72,000 the last 6 months to 98,000. So, and the reality in Eastern Congo, with the fighting that started around February this year, we are again witnessing an influx of refugees. From Easter to the present, 30,000 Congolese refugees have crossed the border. I am grateful again for for all the good work and support that we receive from people from all over the world, the concerns that people have to support us, and continue to appeal that this support continues.